Good morning. It is Monday. Just finished a upper body push workout and I am heading to train a client, and I just thought I'd record another quick video here. I have been agonizing over when to compete at the end of the year, if I want to compete, if I'm going to compete, how many shows should I do, and how I should structure my contest prep plan. Not so much the food that I'm going to eat or any of that, but more so like how many weeks of dieting should I do in a row, at what rate of fat loss, should I or should I take a diet break, or should I do multiple diet breaks, and yada yada yada. And there's a lot to think about, a lot of considerations. But right now, definitively for the next 5 weeks, I am just going to slowly try and increase my calories from where they're at, which is just over 2,900 calories a day, which is already maybe just a hair above where I thought my maintenance calories would be. And I'm going to maintain roughly 198 pounds for the next 5 weeks, while slowly trying to kind of inch my calories upwards, because the higher amount of calories that I could eat and just maintain my body weight, obviously, then the higher amount of calories I could then diet with. So the idea is to kind of give my mind a break, but also try and build my metabolism a hair. I don't know. I'm not good at maintaining. I always feel like I'm very goal driven, so I like to see numbers go up or numbers go down. It's difficult for me to wrap my brain around like changing the goal to trying to make the calories go up but keep the weight where it is. So, but that's what I'm doing for the next 5 weeks. I know it has a purpose. It'll set me up strongly for entering the next diet phase, which I think is going to be, I think I have it figured out. There is a physique competition. There's a competition in Boca Raton 30 weeks from now. And then 4 weeks later is the Atlantic Coast Championships, which is the contest that I did 2 years ago. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to aim to peak for the Boca Raton competition. And then depending on how that goes, and feedback from whoever, and how the prep goes and how I look and how I feel and all that stuff, I'll make whatever adjustments I have to make, and then a month later do the Atlantic Coast Championships, which means I'm likely going to diet for about 10 weeks, max lose a pound a week, maybe more like 3/4 of a pound. It all depends on how it goes. Like, you could plan stuff as, you could create any plan you want, but the map is not the territory, right? So if I'm looking amazing and I've only lost 7 pounds, but it's been 100% body fat, that's great. If I lose a little bit of lean mass in the process, or, I have to figure all that out. But on paper, the plan is to diet for about 10 weeks, lose anywhere from 3/4 to 1 pound per week, take a 4-week diet break where I just kind of sit at maintenance, and then dive into the last 10-week diet phase where I'm going to only plan to lose like a 1/2 pound a week. So I figure this pace all the way from the beginning to the end is fairly slow and steady. You could still lose upwards of 1% of your total body weight per week, at least for a short period of time, and not really risk losing muscle, especially if you're training hard and your diet is on point and your sleep is on point and all that. So 1 pound a week, even though maybe for dieting kind of sounds like a lot, it's like that's pretty conservative. And a 1/2 pound a week, that's extremely conservative, but I'm planning for a 1/2 pound a week because as you get leaner, obviously the despite your efforts, the rate of fat loss tends to slow down. So if I plan for that ahead of time, it gives me some wiggle room there to make adjustments and kind of land right where I want to before the competition, which, again, depending on how well I execute my fat loss phase and how much lean mass I maintain or lose in the process, which I'm hoping not to lose any, obviously, my final weight could be anywhere from like 183 to 189. So I'm thinking more like I'm going to land between 183 and 188, I'm going to say, depending on how I look and feel. I'm really trying to get the idea of being a certain body fat percentage out of my head and just try and say, hey, I just want to diet consistently. I don't want to ever let myself get too flat during the diet. So I'm going to incorporate like refeed days where I lower my fats and proteins and increase my carbs and fill back out a little bit without going over my maintenance calories. And just kind of, look at all the feedback, not just the feedback from the scale, but the mirror, how I'm feeling, how the gym is going. I don't want to get too flat. I don't want to lose any strength in the gym. If that starts happening, I will slow down. I will add back in some carbs. I'll take a refeed or a couple refeed days in a row. Maybe I'll make them just a regular part of my nutrition plan. But I think that's what I'm heading towards. So I'm feeling great. I'm really tightening up my diet. I made the switch from chicken thighs to chicken breast. So I recalculated all my calories, adding back in to my chicken and rice a little extra virgin olive oil to replace the fat that I'm losing from the chicken thighs. I am weighing out the half and half I'm putting in my coffee. I am weighing out the banana that I'm adding to my protein shake. I'm trying to really set myself up for success once I get into the dieting phase. So I am really calculating everything. There's nothing that passes my lips that does not get weighed. Period. End of story. Nothing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking chances with the creamer in my coffee. That's one thing I don't want to give up. A medium banana. What is a medium banana? When you say, I'm just kind of guessing at the calories. One medium banana is 105 calories. Well, what is a medium banana? I know it's so many inches long. Am I taking a measuring tape to the banana? No. So if I really want to not guess, I am I'm chopping up the banana and adding it to my protein shake, and I'm weighing how many grams of banana I'm actually adding to my protein shake, so I'm 100% accurate. So I'm doing all those little things now. I also, yesterday, I ordered myself a walking pad. They seem to be pretty good. I'm not going to use it very often, but yesterday was a great example. It was like pouring rain on and off. And I would have totally hopped on the walking pad yesterday to increase my steps. I bought myself a step tracker, which I should have told you first. So now I'm starting to just collect data on the total amount of steps I take and get like a weekly average of steps, because I don't like to do cardio, or at least formal cardio. I don't like to be like, I'm going to the gym to do a half hour on the treadmill. But if I could hop on the walking pad or go outside and just, I need an extra 1,000 steps, well, I could just hop on the walking pad. Or, it was a big to-do a while back, people taking like 10-minute walks after they eat to help their digestion. So I could start doing that, and that's a great way to start collecting steps throughout the day. So I'm incorporating all these things now in my maintenance phase, so they are extremely habitual and, so I don't have to think about them when I start dieting. And then dieting is just making small adjustments and being in a deficit. And it should be, at least the 10 weeks I'm anticipating should be fairly easy peasy, because if I'm able to build up my calories to, 3,000, 3,100 even. Where am I going here? Oh, that was my left-hand turn. I just missed it. if I could build up my calories over the next 5 weeks from where it is, like 2925, and get up over like 3100 or more, and then just cut 500 calories from that, I'll be in a really good spot. That first 10 pounds, I feel like, are just going to melt off. I'm already raring to go. I already don't feel like I need a break, but I'm going to take this 5-week break. I think it's going to be good for my body, going to be good for my mind, and set me up for a positive, successful first phase of dieting. And I arrived at my client's neighborhood. I got to go. Hope all is well, guys. I'll talk to you soon.